Hello folks, I've done a lot today, so I'm going to make dinner easy. I'm going to make an Instant Pot jambalaya. There's many different types out there in the internet sphere to make it. I was in Ohio one time and I had a jambalaya in a restaurant, and it came out and it didn't look like a jambalaya, but it was delicious. It was chicken broth, a lot of bell peppers of different colors, the orange, the yellow, the green, the red, and the chicken was a grilled chicken piece. And they had onions and he had some spices. And it came out on a bed of rice, not a lot of rice, just a little, and juice, like soup almost. And then the floating vegetables and the grilled chicken breast on top. Oh my heavens. I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. It was so good. But it did not look like your typical jambalaya, which is red. Yeah. So first, this recipe calls for chicken breast, so cube it. So I cubed it. Get your Instant Pot hot where it reads hot, which mine does, and saute it. So we'll do that. And once that's done, I will bring you back. So what kind of jambalaya do you like to make? I typically will do it on the stove in a cast iron pot. And it turns out really good that way. But you have to stand and watch it and everything. And with all the gardening that I've been trying to get done, it's a little difficult to watch it for that, length of time. I mean, it's pretty quick, but this is even quicker. And I wanted to try this particular recipe for the Instant Pot, because I do love making stuff in my Instant Pot. Let me tell you, it's been a lifesaver for me. It really has. So we're supposed to saute this, and then it comes out, and you put it aside, and then you saute the vegetables, which are 1 medium onion, 1 bell pepper, 2 stalks of celery, and you saute that for a bit. And then you add 2 tablespoons of Cajun seasoning to the vegetables. Saute that for about 1 or 2 minutes to wake up the seasoning. And then you take that out. And each time, if you need more oil, you add more oil to the pot, they said. And then you add the rice that you've rinsed. Now you always want to rinse your rice when you're using it, especially in the Instant Pot. Because if you don't and you forget, you may get a burn notice on your Instant Pot. And it does not make your Instant Pot happy, let me tell you, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But they called for 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1½ cups of washed white rice, 2 cups of chicken broth, and 1 can of stewed tomatoes. And that's pretty much it. I think I covered everything on my list. Yes, I did. Salt and pepper to taste, but I just added a little pepper to the chicken, not the salt. I don't add more salt until afterwards. If it needs it, when the dish is all made and it needs it, then I'll add it. But I don't add it beforehand, because this already has chicken stock in it. So, and this happens to not be, I don't think it's the low sodium, is it? No, it's not. So I don't want to add any extra to it. And I probably should have cooked the chicken breast smaller portions, maybe half of this at one time, take it out, do another half, take it out, stuff like that. Because when you cook it crowded like this, it tends to exude water. But with this particular, I get my meats from Butcher Box, so I think they pump a little bit of water in there, and it exudes a bit of water when it's cooking, no matter how I cook it. And because I'll do it on my griddle thing, my Mr. T griddle thing, on parchment paper, and it'll drain off a bit of water into the reservoir. Yeah, it will. So we just need to get this done, and then this comes out. I did wonder why they said to take it out and then put your vegetables in, then take them out. Is that what they said? Saute the chicken, remove it, saute the vegetables, add the seasoning, and add the rice. Then you add the stewed tomatoes and 2 cups of broth. But the chicken doesn't go back in until that's done. And you put it on high pressure for 8 minutes. And then you do a quick release, and you put the chicken back in to reheat it back up. I suppose it's because if you put it all in together, your chicken gets a little bit overdone, and it maybe not hold the shape as well because it's an Instant Pot and it's pressure cooked. So I don't know. So I want to make sure that this chicken is fully cooked before I bring it out to set aside while the other stuff goes in there and cooks for 8 minutes. They said do a quick release, add the chicken back and put the lid on, but don't cook it again. Just let the residual heat warm it back up. Okay, well, that chicken better darn well be cooked if you're going to do that, in my opinion. So I may, when I added everything back in, I may just put my chicken on top and cook it for the 8 minutes with the chicken. Because I like to be certain that chicken's cooked. Yes, I do. Nobody needs an upset stomach tonight. Now, I pulled the chicken out, and I put more oil in the pan. I'm going to do a temp check on the chicken. See if it's done. Yeah, it's done. Let's check it somewhere else. Okay, the chicken is fully cooked. So, I can leave it out and put it in after. So I need to get the Instant Pot hot again and put the vegetables in there. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. I'll rinse off this a little bit. Get that pot hot again where it says hot. And it'll say hot. Yes, it will. So hang on. So while we wait for that to go hot, tell me it's hot, I have fresh celery, and I have frozen onions and frozen bell pepper that I bought. I usually cut the onions up when I get them, 2 days after I get them. When I get them, I put them in the fridge for 2 days. It cuts down on the crying time when I go to cut them. And I bring the whole bag out, and I chop them up, cut them up into chunks, and put them in baggies. So I do the same thing with the bell pepper. Of course, I can cut the bell pepper at any time, too, so it doesn't matter. But the onions, I wait 2 days. That's a good rule of thumb for me. And that way, the onions don't burn my eyes. Okay, Instant Pot says he's hot. So let's put the celery in first before I hit it with the frozen vegetables. Something about that sizzle. It just wakes your belly up and says, is it dinner yet? Oh, Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I hope it should taste good, but we will see. We shall see together. I'm going to add the frozen onion and bell pepper. Into the Instant Pot it goes. Wee doggy. We're going to be having us some Instant Pot Jambalaya tonight. Wish I had some shrimp. Oh boy, wouldn't that be nice? But I don't have any shrimp. Okay, I'll bring you back. Alrighty then. Sauteing. It is looking really good and beautiful, isn't it? Now I'm going to add the seasoning, because that's what it says to do. I'm going to add the seasoning. I'll mix that up with the other spoon. Just give it a little mix so it wakes up that seasoning, that Cajun seasoning. Yeah, just sort of continue to saute that for a little bit. Just a minute or two. Wake it up. Little helpful tip. If you have seasonings like this and you go to open the lid or shake it and it won't, it's hardened to a brick. Well, that's because air got in there and humidity. What I like to do is I like to save my jars, because I always use them for something. And I make sure I save the jars that will accommodate the spice that I want to put in it. Oops, sorry about that. It hit the tripod. And you won't have any lumpy seasonings. Yes, it does take up more room, but you don't have to fight with the seasonings. So you could take your pick which battle you want to do. I don't want to have to fight with my seasonings when it's time to cook dinner. And the reason being is because when it's time to cook dinner, especially if it's the Instant Pot, you're doing it towards your dinner time because it cooks so fast. And maybe you've done too much during the day and you don't want to be standing there with poking your seasoning in the jar with a knife and trying to get it unstuck and it's a solid block, and you wind up using more of the seasoning than what the recipe calls for, because that's just how it breaks apart. Now, I would say that seasoning has woken up. Now, I've already rinsed my rice 3 times in cold water. And then I usually put it in a strainer until I need to dump it in something. So they said, dump it in. There we go. Gotta love that. And they said, mix it up. Get all that mixed in there. So that's what we're going to do. Yes, we are. Usually when I cook something for the first time on a new recipe, like I've made jambalaya, oh my goodness, many times, but different ways. There are different ways to make it. I don't necessarily need authentic. I just want something that tastes good. Okay, so they said stir the rice around in amongst the vegetables and the seasonings. And now it's time to add the stewed tomatoes and the 2 cups of chicken broth. So let's go in with that. Okay, that made more noise than I wanted it to. Okay, let's wipe this off before it drips down in where it shouldn't. Give that a stir. Turn this off. It said to hit cancel because we want to set it for the rice for 8 minutes. pour that in there. And give it a stir. Oh boy, doesn't that look good. I hope I'm recording all this. Yep. Because sometimes I'll set this up and I'll forget to press record. Okay. Now, I like to wipe the rim. They said 8 minutes. Okay. So you always want to check that the seal is properly around your lid. And rice, and I want to go down. I want to go down. Cancel. Why would it go down? Oh. Pressure cook? Okay. 8 minutes. There we go. So I got it set on pressure cook for 8 minutes. Okay. Now I've never made this jambalaya in the Instant Pot before, so this is sort of, I'm winging it. So we'll see how it is when it's done. Okay, folks. It's done. Now it said put the chicken back in. To heat it back up. Okay. And I have so I suppose it would keep its shape. I had a stock pot, or I still do somewhere, but the lid to it fits perfectly, I believe, on here. Or not. No, it doesn't, but it fits good enough. Well enough, I mean. So, I'm going to move it out of the cooker and put it on the stove so it doesn't, condensation doesn't drip down into my machine. And then I'll serve it up and bring you back. Yes, I will. I put the recipe that I jotted down in a baggie so I wouldn't get it dirty until I transfer it into my notepad. And the next time, because there were 2 recipes that I found interesting. I usually do my curry on the stove, not in an Instant Pot. But this recipe calls for Japanese curry in the Instant Pot. So next time I'm going to give that a try. So I'll just leave this in this baggie for now. And I'll roll it up as a reminder. That's what I want to do next. And I'll just stick it in here. You can't see where I just stuck it. Then I can see why they said to take the chicken out when you cook the rice, because the chicken, when you take it out and then put it back in, it holds the shape beautifully. So I took it back out again because it's already reheated again into the pot. And now it's time to serve up. So let's serve up some jambalaya. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Am I recording? Yes, I am. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Am I in the frame? Yes, I am. Oh, it's so hard to do this. It's like scratch your head and talk at the same time. There we go. Now, put that there. Put some chicken on the top of the jambalaya. You don't want to take all the chicken away from that big pot. You just want some of it. And there you go. Clean the edge of the pot, or the bowl. And look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh, I'm going to enjoy dinner tonight and all the leftovers. Yes, I am. Thank you for stopping by and joining me in my little kitchen. Bye-bye.